Hi, Vince here again on another Grow Joe. Now, it's time very soon, or in the next few weeks, to plant your potatoes. I want to show you something you really ought to do before you plant your potatoes. Now, potatoes are attacked by a little animal called the keel slug. And it's really annoying because it goes in when it's very tiny, makes a tiny hole on the outside, and then eats away at the inside. And the last thing you want in your roast potatoes is to sit there on your Sunday lunch and find yourself with a mouthful of slug. So this is a good thing to do now. So you've dug your ground, ready for your potatoes. It's full of slugs. They're just coming out of hibernation, and those tiny little transparent pearls of eggs are beginning to hatch. And these are the things we've got to kibosh. So I've got myself a takeaway container here. You can easily use margarine carton. Margarine carton's probably marginally better. But these are keel slugs, so they're quite tiny, so we'll deal with this. Now near the top of the container, you've got to make some holes. Now I'm doing it with a soldering iron for no other reason than I find it easiest. But if you have to cut it, then you have to cut it. And, well, makes it a little awkward. Margarine containers are marginally better for that. So I've got my slot in my slug trap. So I'm going to cut a couple of them. Cut as many as you like. Now the thing about slugs is they've got no bones, so they can squash up really tiny. So you don't need a big hole. As a matter of fact, if you seem to make a slug work for it, they enjoy killing themselves better. So, and it's not really being nasty to nature. You're not killing, you're not using any nasty chemicals. Everything I'm going to show you to do is really organic. Although I bear none of these fancy qualifications for organic gardening, I don't like using too many nasty chemicals. There. So I've got 4 holes in my takeaway container. Nice and easy, there they are. Then all I need is some banana. Now this is the squidgiest, mushiest bit of banana I could find. Push it all down there. You can see that nice and clearly. Well, the thing about banana is it needs a bit of water with it. So we'll have to put some water in a minute and just top that up. It's probably better off when you put it in the ground. When you need to put it in the ground, you've got to put it up to the level of the holes, so the slugs can amble across the ground and fall in. And I just like to put a little lid on them because it makes it harder for the slugs to get out. Now, if you go on the internet, you can see lots of pictures of these slug traps on time lapse, and you can watch all the slugs happily, merrily throwing themselves into beer slops and everything. If you haven't got banana, you can use a bit of jam and water. If you haven't got jam and water, courgette works. Any fruit, anything. The only trouble with fruit is for it to be really attractive to slugs, it has to be quite mushy. So slices of fresh apple and that don't do the job. There you go, you can see the holes there. So your slugs are going to come along. This is going to be buried in the ground. Go in and drown. Beer slops work fantastic. So if you know anybody with any beer, they can just put some beer in the bottom, and that works very well indeed. You may end up killing 1 or 2 other things like beetles and that. I'm really sorry, that's collateral damage. It's a lot better than putting slug pellets down and killing loads and loads of songbirds, I think. Anyway, that is today's Rojo. Get these out, get them down, and get your slug population reduced before you put your potatoes in the ground. It will make so much difference in the long term. So once it's planted, Just fill it up. Bit of water. Not a problem. Just like that. Just let the slugs do the rest. There you go. End of today's grow show. Have fun, get gardening.